welcome in. Looking good, everybody. You're all looking just absolutely fantastic. Welcome into the show. It's why do I have my radio voice on? Welcome in, everybody. It's Paint with Josh. We're back in the studio with you tonight. I'm going to show you literally every single step how to take this black canvas, make it nice and wet with our Bob Ross liquid clear or your linseed oil or whatever. And all I did was take a big stripe, a big X, big old pattern in there, and then we're going to work it back and forth. And while I'm doing this, you guys just got to do one little thing for me. Just check in, tell me where you're watching from, that's all. Where are you from out there in the world? Just let me know. We're going to have a good time tonight. I can already feel it. I can feel it. It's Friday night freestyle, everybody. We're going to have a fantastic evening, so I hope you're ready to have some fun. And just get all wild and crazy with me tonight on this little 18 by 24 inch black canvas. It's a stage 2 canvas, so if you're looking at grabbing this one, it's a stage 2, which is better than the stage 1s, but not as big as the stage 3, right? So make sure we get all the white off of there. I taught a painting a virtual class earlier to the Miss Katie Lexa, or Mrs. Katie Lexa, out there, and I think she's somewhere. She's hours and hours and hours away from me. But we did a virtual class, and we connected via video call, and we did a really cool painting. So those are available over on my site if you go check it out. We have virtual classes, and you can do any one of my paintings. Literally, will teach you how to redo it live via like FaceTime video call, something or other, whatever we want to call it, right? So you can go check those out. If you just go over to my site, just type in the word virtual over there. Once you're there, then you'll be able to find those virtual classes, and you can link up any moment, on any day, at any time, and do a class. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So now that we've got our color, or our liquid clear, all spread out all the way across the canvas, we're gonna take 2 paper towels, just like this. We're gonna wipe off all that extra paint. You guys gotta check in one more time. Tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwiches? You can see all the excess clear color that comes off of there. Just like that, just like that, just like that. Wipe it off, get rid of it, and then we're gonna go put our undercolors on while you guys are telling me where you're watching from out there. Where are you from out there in the world? Everybody, we got Oklahoma, Popcorn Sammy, Cheese and Onion, Texas, Ohio, Cosmic Lighthouse, Mindy's over there. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Got Connecticut, we got the UK, we got everywhere, everybody. Remember, if you're watching over on Facebook, just comment, tell me where you're from, man. Check it out over here. We're gonna have a good time. Now, as we go through, we're gonna be going our Indian yellow first. We're gonna use our Indian yellow, our crimson, our purple, some of our browns, and then our blue, black, and crimson like always, right? So we're gonna take our Indian yellow, and let's just get out here and just start blasting it into the sky. Now we want to blend it enough, or push on it with enough pressure. That's what kind of pushing, turning it, mixing back and forth, spreading it out so it's not like this. We don't want like a pure yellow line out there in the sky. We want to push on it and mix it and spread that yellow line out, right? Don't go down past half your canvas, so we're going to stop right there. And we're going to work it upwards in the night, just wherever we want it to be, and push on it hard, spread it out, right? Let it mix and get very, 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 very thin as it moves up towards the top of the canvas. And then, guys, while we still have that yellow on the brush, let's get down into the eye of our wave. See how we have a straight line across the bottom? Pretty straight anyway. What we're going to do is from this side, and not at too terrible of a diagonal angle, right? It's not severely diagonal. It's not perfectly straight. It's just keep just a little bit down. Pop a little bit of our Indian yellow in there. Just a little. We don't need a whole lot. Don't even need to grow too big. A little bit more of our Indian yellow. See how we're kind of grabbing from the pile, loading it down into this flat area, flipping the brush over, and then continuing to load. You can even tap into it like that so you get a little bit of paint on the end. Go from right here, straight line across. This is where we're going to start. And then we're going to get lower and lower and lower, so there is a gap in between these two areas, okay? Don't need it to be a humongous gap, but we do need it to be there. And then again, if it's real heavy and real thick where we put on, let's spread that paint. Watch how far we can drag that paint across the canvas, spreading it out. Very flat lines, right? So flat, and we're going to drop down a little bit and over, drop down a little bit and over, down a little bit and over, down a little bit and over. So we end up almost off the canvas down here at the bottom, okay? So now we've got our yellow, we've got a small patch of dark canvas in between our two yellow bits, another patch of dark canvas in between our two yellow bits, and I think that's just about, actually, you know what? Let's go wild and crazy and just throw a little bit more of that Indian yellow down in here too. Why not, man? Just why not, we always say. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like by the time we get to it, right? Now, we're going to go into our Meaden. The brand name is called Meaden. The color is called Madder Carmine. It's very much like the Bob Ross Crimson, but it's a lot more wet, okay? A lot more wetter, meaning it'll spread further with less paint. So I'm going to start way up here because I know it's going to go down and overtake my yellow area. Okay, so we're going to start up there, and then we're going to start crisscrossing it and working it down into our yellow, knowing that we work the yellow almost all the way up to the top of the canvas. We'll have all these different oranges and reds and cool little colors just emerge from the night. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I tend to do this normally before we even start the show, so you guys don't have to watch this part, because it does get a little bit boring, you know what I mean? And then again, we have so many people that ask how you did the beginning. How do you set up the canvas? How do you do this? How do you do that? And so on these videos, we show you, quote unquote, literally every single step. Meaning from a bare blank canvas, you saw me put on the liquid clear. We're in here to this stuff. Let's take a little of this too. This is a new color I'm trying out from Master's Touch called Alizarin Red. Not Alizarin Crimson, Alizarin Red. So we're gonna take a little bit of that guy too. Throw it down in there, and again, just mix it down almost until we have no more yellow left. I want to have some orangey sky up there. And then from, again, that brush, let's go right into our dioxazine. Oh, shoot. That's okay. We don't have enough on there yet. A little bit more of that reddish color. We're going to drop it in here. There. Right up into there. Just let it kind of flow up into our eye. It doesn't need to intermix too much. Little bit. Little thing. We're going to pop one more little bit of that Meaden Crimson right down in here, and then we'll hit it with our purple color, guys, of course. So dioxazine purple, load it heavy on your brush, come from the top, and again, that purple is going to want to grow down just like our crimson grew down into the yellow. So we don't need much purple out there because it's going to want to overtake everything. And also, when the purple mixes with that crimson color, gosh, it's going to be the coolest, prettiest, just the most vibrantest of all these different purple hues that you can even imagine in your life. Just going to be fantastic. And again, spread it hard. Push it with a lot of pressure. Okay? Let's take some of that same darker color. We're going to launch it right back, right underneath our eye, and maybe right up into the sky a little so it doesn't just automatically hit. Right? You always got to blend a little. Now we'll take the rest of that purple that we got over here, fill in every space along the bottom that we didn't do, and then let that purple work up into the crimson and into the yellow. All right, and we'll have this really neat brown color just for mixing all three of these guys together with enough force and enough power. We're mixing them, pushing them hard, blend it. Your canvas should literally be warm to the touch on the backside from how much friction that we use across this thing, okay? Now we're gonna take that nasty old, dirty old brush, we're gonna go wash it out, and then we'll actually paint a painting for you guys. It's gonna be really cool. I always say when we're in the classes and we're doing all this setup, I'm like, okay, you guys actually ready to paint something we can actually see? Because that'll be neat. We'll be able to actually see this one. And it's going to be gorgeous, you guys. We're going to do an Aurora mountain seascape. Normally we do our auroras where the canvas is portrait mode and it's very tall. This one's going to be a little shorter and no less fantastically gorgeous. So I hope you're ready to have some fun, you guys. Dab off that old brush. We're going to switch to a fan brush. Because I like the, so we're going to grab a little bit more of our white paint as well. But I like the fan brush because it's very versatile, that fan brush. You know what I mean? You can do all sorts of stuff with it. Make a very sharp line, make a very big and crazy old line, or do whatever we want, right? It's just very versatile, so I love this brush. Now, scratch my eye. Now we're going to pull videos from this one. Perfect. We're going to come down here and wiggle down on that white paint. We don't need a whole lot of it. Now remember, because there's lots of paint up here on our canvas already. So let me tell you, just from this moment forward, everything that we've done so far to the canvas. I have an 18 by 24 inch canvas. I painted it black with our black gesso. Why did we get a notification now? Why? Why did we get a violation this time? I don't get it. I don't understand, honestly. Okay, whatever. All right, so we've got all of our colors out there from our, so we have our black canvas, then we covered it in our Bob Ross liquid clear, wiped off the excess, then put our Indian yellow from here up, then our crimson from here down, then our purple down. Same thing, Indian yellow, crimson, and then purple down at the bottom. So you're all caught up. Now we're taking our our titanium white, no liquid white, just titanium white. We're gonna come out here and let's just go crazy. Let's do this guy over here. All right, kind of angling it so the paintbrush is hitting the canvas, jiggling, wiggling, doesn't even need to go down that far. All we're really worried about is this sharp edge along the bottom of our canvas, right? So you can get up there with your finger and literally erase it. Now, in order to get the color to grow, we need a little bit of excess color here. So what I'm doing is pushing my brush up against the canvas, just leaving a weird bit, a weird little piece of something, okay? We'll take our big old 2-inch brush, we'll come out here, we'll push hard against it, real hard, and then drag it up, right? How far can you get the color to go? That's all up to you every time, right? You can push on a little bit. Oh, look at it get up into this purpley, crimsony. Oh, it's fantastic. Look at those colors, you guys. Oh, man. That is amazing. I don't really need to necessarily drag it all the way up through the top. It all depends on how I want my scene to look, right? Every time we do it a little bit different. Let's get out here, grab a little bit more of our titanium white. Remember, the colors are already out here. Let's come cutting down through some of our bright section of this guy. Bang, right down through there. All the way off the edge. Now, if we want our color to grow real far on a real thin line, we're going to need to give it some excess color along the top. It's just pushing against the canvas with the white paint, okay? And then we'll come back in here, dab off our 2-inch brush. We're going to match the angle along the bottom. See the bottom of it down there? Can you? We're going to take it, bend it, and push, push, push. The more you push it, I see how we're turning the brush this way because the angle is turning upwards. So we're matching it like that, pushing it straight up though. Don't try to take it off to the side. That's going to look strange. Now, the more that you push it, the more it's going to grow. So if you want it to be bigger or brighter in a certain area, hit it more there, okay? These guys, again, you can come in and just literally clean them up right underneath, make them nice and crisp, or come down from the top like that. All the way from the top though, otherwise you're going to leave a mark up on your canvas, okay? Let's do one more little guy, again, wiping off our fan brush on a paper towel like this. See, there's still some paint on there, it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. A little bit more of our white. Let's come down again, maybe cut through, bang, right down through like that. Honestly, literally, doesn't matter. Every time we do it, we can do them a little differently. Now see how we're turning the brush like this, so it is on this angle, right? It's not straight onto the canvas like that. We're matching the angle, grabbing it, drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it up. Woo! Look at those colors, you guys. Holy shaving cream. That is a cool little scene so far. Now, we're gonna come out here, we're gonna mix up all of our darkness, which means we take our black color, our crimsony red color, our blue color, we're gonna mix them all together. It's about a 2 to 2 to 1 mix. So you're getting double the blue, double the crimson, and then 1 part black. All right, if you've ever done any, why my nose? It's like the tip of my nose itches, but I can't. I'm too afraid to go really scratching up there because we might leave some paint on my nostrils. Now we're gonna come over here, grab some of our brown as well. Both brown colors in about the same amount as our dark pile is right here. And then we'll mix these guys together, effectively creating a color that we call Paint with Josh what? What do we call this color when it's mixed in with brown, right? When we make our purple with our blue and crimson, and then we add black, that's Paint with Josh Black with a P. But what is it if we make it and we mix it with brown? What does that color turn into, you guys? And then, how do you want your little mountainous scene to look? We're gonna come in here, flatten out that big old thing, scrape up a good roll of it, and then decide we have to push our auroras into the distance. So come up and get up into that little guy. Over there, over there. And that way it looks like the light is coming from behind the mountain versus over the top. Pop Drop this guy down over here. How big do you want it to be? Remember, the more paint that you leave up here, the more is going to grow when you start to hit it with your brush. We do not want to come down past half after you brush it. So don't put on too much stinking paint up there. And if you do, change the angle of your blade so it's very straight on and remove it. Hear that? See, look at the amount of paint that we're picking up right here. If we can scrape this guy off and only leave the remainder, look again, another giant roll of paint right here. That's a huge pile of paint that we just took off the canvas, meaning that the mountain is not going to grow too far on us now, right? If it starts growing too far on us, then we got a problem. We're going to come up here with our brush, grab it, and slide it out towards the horizon. We don't even need to see the whole thing, honestly. It's so far in the distance, it doesn't matter. Grab it, turn the brush, so we're turning it down and then getting flatter as we go this way. Come up along that side, not against the edge, but against the edge where we drug it with the brush. Drag it this way, and this way, and this way. Right, meeting it at the edge, meeting it at the edge, meeting it at the edge, getting flatter and flatter and flatter as we go. Very, very simple, guys. Now, let's come up here and make up some crazy colors, guys. I'm talking about, let's take a bit of our white, and we'll get a bit of our madder carmine color. We're gonna mix that guy in, oh my goodness, into just the most beautiful-ish, pinkish color you've ever seen. It's gonna be fantabulous. Now, so because we have our paint with Josh Brack in our mountain, that brownish blackish mix, this pink is gonna go perfectly with it. We're gonna scrape up a little bit, just removing a little section of the paint right out of the pile. We're gonna come up here and attach it and just let it flow down and float it across the canvas, right? The more you float it, the more the little paint roll will disappear, right? So if we come out there, and it's about 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, and we come up here and we start rolling down, it's gonna start dropping off and becoming less and less and less out there on the edge of the blade. And it's very flat again, right? Now, let's take one little touch of pink and maybe we can sneak it in behind this little guy, like he had a little shadow back underneath him. But you can see mainly we got one side of our thing flowing down one way, one side flowing down the other way. It doesn't all need to be the same amount of pink or whatever, or covered or anything. Leave some little spaces of opening, right? Now let's take a bit of our white and should we just go wild crazy? Let's get some of our Indian yellow too. Oh, that's gonna be nice. Look at this. Just like a golden orange. Is that not fantastic right there, guys? Scrape this guy up. Let's see what it looks like when we drop. Oh my word. Look at that coloration combo with the orange, the pink. It's in our sky. It's the same kind of coloration we did for Katie Lex's class today, which came out awesome. Just let it flow down, very flat, very much no pressure on the blade, holding it even very gently, so there is no pressure. And you can just float and float and float down. Remember, these mountains like to get enormously large very quickly, so don't let that happen. Let's come over here on a little sideways, little bender. Maybe we came up underneath, caught some light as well. How far do you want to go? It's all up to you. Remember, we're already down close to where our wave is going to be crashing, so we might end up losing some of that stuff. The further you go down, the more of your wave and water you're going to lose, right? So let's take our 2-inch brush, or excuse me, 1-inch brush, very lightly. So lightly that we're just grazing against it. We're not even trying to touch the paint and have it move. We're just trying to float across it, very light, very, very, very light-handed. Now, if I can take some of this paint and just mix it up very softly against the base, right? And then it'll look like a little bit of fog out here. Push it harder over on this side, and you get that little misty fogginess kind of rolling through your mountainside. Okay, now let's come back into our water over here with our titanium white. We're going to pull it down. We're going to scrape up a small amount. Now remember, we've already got color back here, and we don't want that color, or this bright color, to get too close to our eye. Okay, so what we're going to do is make a little triangle. We're going to have a wider spot over here into a skinnier spot out there, right over the top of our eye, which is over onto the side for a reason, okay? That way, that once we come over here, we roll down and roll over that eye. It's really gonna look neat. So what we're gonna do is grab our fan brush. We're gonna grab some of our titanium white, Just a very, 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 that's probably even too much, very small amount. And what I want to do is make a bright spot into a very skinny little tail, right? So we've got a wider spot over here into a skinnier tail over there with some space in between and around, right? Because we know that when we mix this guy up, it's going to start to grow. See how much it jumped over here and jumped down there from our spot? Just enormously. And the more paint that you put up there, the more it's going to want to grow, and it's going to want to get close up to the top of this wave, and we don't want to touch it. We want to leave a very small little dark separation if we can. If you cannot, that's okay, but if you can, then leave it in there. A little bit more white right at the top. Right at the top, and then let that guy blend down, and we should get multiple colors throughout this whole thing, from bright to kind of dark or orangish, reddish, all these little things happening inside the eye. Don't let the eye get too big, okay? I'm telling you, it almost looks like a music note, doesn't it? Where it comes down. What's that music note called? Like a cleft or what? I don't know how to read sheet music. What's that one that's like, you know what I mean? It's got the thing and then it's got the little bubble on the bottom. Isn't that like a little music note? Am I crazy? Am I the crazy one? Is it me? Am I the nuts one, you guys? God, look at those colors. That is insane. Looks like a comma. I feel that. Treble clef. Thank you. I knew it was something. I knew it was something. Of course it's something, Josh. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna scrape up another small amount of our titanium white, just a little teeny tiny little roll up there, okay? What we're gonna do is put 2 fingers in between the eye of the wave, right? And where our water is gonna crash. That way, there'll be at least 1 finger's worth of space where we can play with, okay? So if we come up here, like this, start over here, a little bit higher up than your peak is, and just tap against the canvas, tap against the canvas, tap against the canvas. Roll it, roll it, roll it, right? 3 little taps on each way. It's not an insanely sharp V shape. It's not a big U shape. It's very flat, okay? Just very flat. Now I want you to wipe off the blade. No more paint on this guy, okay? If it's completely clean and no more paint on it, we're gonna touch up here and then very lightly roll down. We're gonna come over here and touch again, roll down. Over here and touch again, roll down. Each one of these is going to a different spot. First one was down here, next one's a little bit over, next one's a little bit over, the next one should be over here, and then over here, and then over here, just like a clock would do, right? The more that you mix onto it, the bigger that white space is gonna get. See how we're coming out to the side now? Out this way, not down, not all of them are just pulled straight down. So we have that nice little crisp little ridge along the top. Our space in between the 2 colors touching, and the eye of the wave as well, okay? And now we get to have some fun, you guys and gals and painting pals. What we're gonna do is take our liquid white, good amount of it too, right into the titanium white. You can't have one or the other, right? One or the other doesn't work. One is too thick, one's too thin. So you have to mix them both together and get a median of the 2 colors mixed together. And it's a very wettish paint, okay? It's an 1/8 note, you see it now? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is kind of tap along the top side with just the corner, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as we go, right? So it's a smaller thing into a bigger thing. You can tap it with the corner, you can tap it with just the edge of the brush right on top of your water like that, right? Start showing it getting bigger and bigger and breaking up. And then what we're gonna do is just smack in between, right? Give a little whack, a little whoop, a little spanker right there. Over here, over there, smacking it, smacking it, smacking it. This guy and this guy should be about the same height, right? The same level of height. So, and it can even get even taller up if you want. But the main thing is it's got to extend out this way. And it's got to be pretty flat line along the bottom, okay? Now, I'm just going to ask you, does that look like watery, splashing spray to you? Just yes or no. Just answer me honestly. Yes or no. What do you think? Right? Because I'm going to show you what it's going to look like in a second when we go back and brush it out. I just need your opinion now. Does that look like watery, crazy, stuff? Soon, they say. Soon. Soon. Okay? What we're going to do is come out here and start to mix it. And you'll notice that this little dark separation is going to shrink down, and it's going to shrink in between here, because as we mix up this very wet paint, it grows very fast. And then the more you mix it, the more all the same it's going. Look at those colors in there. Holy shaving cream, you guys. That's a cool bunch of color right there. As it spreads out, it's going to get wide. very fast and grow very far. Now, no matter what it looks like on the first go, I always go back in, more liquid white, more of my titanium white. So we have this very wet paint. We always come back in and give it another shot. Just a little bow, I'll come in here a couple more times, and over here we're gonna do it much less, right? I'm not gonna fill up every space, I'm not gonna fill everything as bright as it was before, just have it be randomly less, right? And then when we come in with this guy, we're gonna mix it even less, with less pressure and less times in the same area, right? So if everything starts looking the same, you're mixing it too much of all the same. Just kind of be weird, be flippant, be odd about it. Throw it out there, just don't care. That's when it becomes fun, when you just don't care about it anymore, right? Now, we're gonna come back over here. We're gonna grab that liquid white, titanium white mix onto our palette tool, and we're gonna start scraping back and forth. But where do I start? Josh, do I start down here? I mean, do I start way up here at the top, or do I come up here? I mean, how do I scrape in this line? Where would you guys start? Because I've told you, and I've told you for the last couple weeks since we figured out how to make everyone's waves perfect, no matter what. If you follow this, you will have a perfectly perspective wave, right? If you follow this one thing. So, where's it gotta go? What's going on? Oh, that sucks. That's weird. The Facebook stream ended itself. Let's have to fire it back up. There we go. Perfect. And looking fantastic, everybody, right? Where do we start? At the bottom? Because what I do is I take my yardstick and I measure from this point on my wave, which should be about halfway through, right? Or at least at the bottom of your eye. It's coming down this way. We put a straight line across the canvas, which should cut straight through our wave that we had brushed out, right? And then right there is where we're gonna wanna start. We take our straight line and go all the way over here, and we start cutting into it and getting lower and lower, but very slightly. See how we're cutting through that stuff? I decide where the wave goes, not my brush. My brush is not in control, I'm in control. I get to decide how big, how far, the angle, and everything else. It's real far down on this guy, right? So it looks like it's dropping off down there. Now, if you notice, these two angles right here are perpendicular. Get that guy, and without even moving it, right up here, right? Same lines here, except this one we don't see the top half, right? This, it's all about this stuff right here. Wherever that is, to wherever it is, well, we need to get a little bit. We didn't go all the way across the canvas, but start up here, that should be right on the money. Go from there to there, perfect. Right, can't even see where the line is down there. Zip, there it is. That's where you want to be, right there to there. You'll have a perfectly perspective wave every time, okay? Now, the more that we scrape back through this thing, and by the way, guys, we're gonna restart the stream over on TikTok, so if you're not already following me over there, then follow me over on TikTok. Give me the old follow, because I'm going to end it and then I'm going to restart it within a minute or two, because we got that violation thing or whatever it is. So I'm mixing up a little bit of my liquid white and my titanium white mix, just so it's, again, very runny. So if you're not already following me over on TikTok, follow me there. And then we're going to end it. We're going to come right back. Dumb little thing. BRB, everybody. Yeah. How is everyone doing over on the tube and on the book? You guys are looking amazing. You're just honestly amazing, you guys. Amazing. Okay, let's go over here. Let's go like that. And go like this. Cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have our liquid white and our titanium white mix. We're going to take that and we're going to scrape it up. That's what I'm saying, where you can work this one back a little bit further, and then you kind of come down, maybe you work further in again, and then you come back, and you work further in, and you come back, and then you're down into this long trail of stuff. And see, even up there with those little rounded things, just makes it look a little bit more cool. Now, all I want to do here is just kind of turn the angle and just deposit a little bit of paint right down in here, okay? That's all we're doing. We're scraping up a little bit of that wetness. We're turning it on a diagonal so it really has the force to push it down right into there. That's all you need. Seriously. Everything else we're going to do with our brush, okay? So we're going to take all that paint, get it out towards the front, so we got that really crazy lip right out on the front. And then we're going to come back in after we wipe off our fan brush, or use a clean, dry fan brush. I tend to just wipe it off on a paper towel, get all the paint off it, and everything should be fine after that. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Remember, guys, check out, or tell me where you're watching from, and just check in right now. So where are you from out there in the world? Let me know where it is, okay? We're going to work into our clock over here from a 3:15, maybe 4 o'clock down there, all the way up to about noon. And what we do is you can either start on the inside and start getting flatter and flatter and flatter, or the easier thing for me is I start out here and I just start pulling horizontally, right? Literally just going straight sideways, no other thing about it. And then the more you get in, the more you start to curl upwards, turning the brush like this, so it's just like this, right? We're making it as sharp as we can. I'm not using the brush like this. I'm kind of using it and sliding it with all the power of those bristles behind there, right? So as we go, we're going to start getting more and more and more vertical. That doesn't mean going straight up or on a diagonal. They're coming back like this and then rolling up, okay? Think about it like an airplane. You've got to take off down the runway before you can start rolling up into the sky. Right? The more you go in there, the more vertical it becomes. Just remember to leave a little dark patch way down here, about the size of a golf ball or ping pong balls or marble, the big one that you flick the other marbles with, right there, because you have to have that area where the light cannot reach down into the darkness. Right? You also don't want all these guys to go up so far that they reach this bit of light, because it's the same color, and if they touch, then we're not going to know what is going on, okay? So streak it out that way, start getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller circles as you get into the inside. And then we're going to go throw some sand on this bad boy. Now, I always go, or I mean not always, but the times that we have gone viral is when we have done a video like this and pulled a clip from it. So we're going to take a bunch of our liquid white, mix it with our titanium white, so it's about a 90-10 mix. Right? Get a big old pile of liquid white, that's your 90%, mix in 10% of your titanium white, so it's very wet. Now there's two different ways to do this. You can either scrape it up, you can come back in here and literally scrape down like we did before, and I'm going to show you that it is exactly the same amount of paint than if we do this, right? So we come over here and we start scraping down. We do this, that, this, that, just literally pushing as hard as I can to try to wipe this paint off. Now this may look easier for you to do, and that's okay, right? Perfectly okay. All we're trying to do is leave a little separation in between. So whichever one you like the best, and I'll show you, we're going to wipe off the blade so there's nothing on it, and we'll come over here. It's the same amount of paint, it's the same shapes, it's the same everything, no matter what you do, right? Literally. Do it however you want to do it, make it as bright as you want to make it. All I ever do is I make them shorter over here and longer over here. This side, in my mind, is a little closer to us than that side is, right? That way, we should be able to see things hitting our feet on this side before they would do over on that side, okay? So what we're going to do is take our 2-inch brush. You guys just check in, tell me where you're from out there. Just where are you from in the world? And maybe I can sit back here and see if we can't read a couple answers about where you guys are from. And I'll show you this big old brush in the meantime, just so you know I'm still here. Right? We got Michigan, New York, Chicago, boom, boom, New York again, Arkansas, Texas. It's not Texas, it's Texas. Central Florida, Australia, Iowa, Kentucky, Ohio, Maryland, Wisconsin, Greece. Jeez, they're coming in. Atlanta, Tennessee, Minnesota, Florida, Minnesota again, England, Colorado, Utah, Norway, Tennessee, Mississippi, West. I didn't even get that. Sweden, Connecticut, South Carolina, Ohio, Georgia. Man, you guys are typing them in so fast I can't even read them. All over the place. That's how many places we've got followers, right? We're going to come out here with our big old 2-inch brush. We're going to, again, match this guy, and we're basically making a reverse aurora borealis like we did before. So we'll come in here, we'll drag it down. Over there, drag it down. Lots of pressure. Bend the bristle. Shoot it downward. It's going down and down and down. I always ask, does this look like wet, sandy beach to you? Just tell me yes or no. You see how we're going off the canvas over here, so you would imagine they would get lower and lower and lower. But does that look like wet, sandy beach? If not, tell me what you think it looks like. What does it look like? It looks like some curtains or like a tablecloth. It's all bent, especially right here. I don't know why, but I see curtains right there. So what do you see when you look at it, right? The more you pull it down, the more it's all gonna mix together and get wild. And what are we trying not to do? Grab the top of this line of water and get rid of our dark separator. That would be bad. So what do you guys think? What's it look like out there? What's the abyss? You use my techniques in your paintings? That's awesome. Looks like a waterfall, a canyon wall, all sorts of stuff, a cliff. But what happens if we did this? We turned all those vertical streaks into little horizontal streaky poos. Nobody likes a streaky poo, but when we're on the canvas, we really push hard on all that paint with enough force to turn all those vertical streaks into horizontal streaks, leaving a little dark space down here in the corner. If it's all the same amount of brightness, it's not going to make any sense. Gotta have that little dark spot. But doesn't that look a lot more like wet, sandy beach when you're out there? Especially if you come out here and you drop in your little bit of your sea foam line or whatever it is. It doesn't even have to match the exact angle of our wave out there. Okay? Then you would come back, your little brush, and just drag off little things, little bits, things here, there, wherever. Way back. Right? Got some wet sandy beach up there. Now, we're going to add in a bunch of rocks, so I hope your rock game is on point tonight, because we're going to be putting in some rocks for the next 24 minutes, my friends. Now, let's get over here. First things first. Doesn't that look a little strange? It looks like a cool shadow, but it's a little bit big, don't you think? So let's come out here, take some of the paint that's on the blade, and take some of the paint that's already on the canvas, and scrape them down, back and forth, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, until it's right down on top of that dark separation where you just have a little shadow, right? That little dark area. Now, if you've already gone through and you don't have your dark area anymore, or your dark separator has disappeared, that's okay, right? It's just going to be harder to tell which is your wave and which is your sand. Depends on your coloration, of course, but if you don't have that little dark separation in there, it becomes very difficult to tell which is which, okay? So scrape it down about as close as you can get it, and then leave it, call it good, very neat. Now let's decide, now we'll go throw in our spray. Have you ever seen me throw in the spray specks off the old fan brush? I was doing a class with Katie Lexa today, and she prefers holding her fan brush and doing it with her finger, and just pulling back the bristles and letting them fly forward, right? I tend to like to do it off of the palette knife. It keeps my fingers clean. I don't know if you can tell or not. I'm kind of a clean freak. And I don't know why I'm a painter. It doesn't make any sense. I agree. What we're going to do here first is very lightly, you can even back up and test it. A couple little flicks right here. That way you'll know it's not going to launch off a huge amount. And then we can turn the blade, angle it, like it's just throwing this paint out onto the canvas that way. Now it depends on how much is in our brush and how much is on the end of the tool. You don't want to have too much in either. That's going to be a bad deal for you. Right? But the more you have on the tool and the more pressure you throw it out with onto the brush, the more sprays that you're going to get. Come back at it this way. Bow. You get all these little millions of little spray bits to come off of it and just be crazy, boy. Oh, man. Let's see. Ba-boom, ba-boom. I like it. No, we haven't gotten anything yet. Haven't seen anything come up on the screen just yet. So that's good. Now, since we've got our spray, you could literally do it in your water and in your sand down here. But since we're going to add some rocks and stuff, we might as well do those before we keep specking on more and more and more little bits of our spray, right? So, first thing, we want to really make sure that we got enough brown paint inside this plaque mix. So let's just go in and add a little bit more brown into our brack, which is already a brownish, purplish, blackish color. We're just adding more brown to it, our Van Dyke brown and our dark Sienna brown. And then we'll have this huge, immense pile of paint that we can play with, right? Once we get this guy, we can decide how many rocks do you want to see. If I want to have something big out here, what I want to do is scrape away whatever shape of my rock might be, right, and scrape all this white. Look at this. Let's find a spot. Let's go over here. Look at all that paint, that brightness, right? All this bright paint is going to make it difficult for my dark color to stay dark. So if I remove all of this stuff, no matter how much it is, how much my rock is going to overtake it, right? You can decide too, if you don't want it so big, to just blend it back out and save little things that you don't like, right? Where do you want yours to be? That's the whole question. So we're going to come out here with this immense pile of darkness. I'm going to get a huge amount of it on the knife because I want to come out here and just blast it on so heavily, right, that that white paint has no chance of turning it a different color. I need it to be dark, right? So what if it came down like this, flow down into our sand? It's over here, it's over there. We can even leave it like a little archway to where you can see underneath it, guys. Right? If I wanted to save some area around the backside, like we could walk around it and still see back there, you could absolutely leave it like that. You could take it and pull it all the way towards the side of the canvas and get rid of it all. All that stuff down here, spreading it out. There we go. Take it off the edge like that. I like it. I like it. See a little bit of land behind it. Gonna be very cool. Now, we're gonna take our 1-inch brush, or you can take your fan brush, it doesn't matter. Right? We just want to soften the paint a little bit. So we can drag it in a certain way, maybe drop it down. All we're trying to do is give ourselves an idea of what the highlights might look like. Maybe we'll come back this side and drop it off this way, or we'll take some down and we'll go over here. And as we're brushing the paint just very lightly, it's also making it easier for our highlights to then stick on to that thicker stuff that's there, right? Bob always told us a thinner paint would stick to a thicker paint. This is very thick, which is why when we get this guy to go on here, we either need to have the right amount of paint and pressure to then drag off, so we have a shadowy side of our color, this, that, or the other. Then you can have your lighter side coming down this way. All depends. Maybe we got a little shelf or a ridge, whatever it was. We get to decide what it looks like just by the directional pulls of our blades. If we have something over there, we want it to come down, we just drag it down that way and have it look like it's sloping that way. Or have this guy, like there's a little shadowy slope, maybe it comes off the other side. Right? Nothing is ever going to be perfect, you guys, literally. So, throw it out there, however you like it to be. Then we can always go back, change things, get rid of things. Drop some more of our yellow onto this little side over there, having a little bit of brightness, right? How do you want it? Because it's all up to you when you do yours, right? Every time, literally every time. Take this guy, very lightly down around the base, slide it out, pulling it back, sliding it down, then we're gonna go back in. There we go. A lot of pressure along the bottom. Any little streaks you got down here will just blend away, it's no big deal, okay? Now that we've got our little river or our water line right out there, heading back, we can do all sorts of different things, adding little streaks here, little bobs, little dips, little whatever, honestly. You can literally do whatever you want to do to make yours look however you want it to look, right? Now, since we've got all this dark paint, what if we came up, I feel it is there. Oh, it's there now. There. Just an immense little rock out there, right? As long as it projects up and into our water, pushing it backwards, having that very dark paint right here, you can come up like that, pop in another little guy. Really mush hard on this paint though, to have it stay dark, stay dark, stay dark throughout the whole thing. Then we can decide, how do you want it? You want it to come out this way? Be very flat, maybe trap a little bit of water behind it, because we can do it. We can do it, guys, we can do it. We still got a whole ton of paint. What if we get a very small amount of our darkness, and we just pop it out? It's like it's a little ledge. Come down this way. That way it's not all the same height, kind of moves over, slides around, right? Take this guy very lightly, kind of dragging it, just so it softens it a little bit. We're back on top of that lighter color. Tap it in. And if you can't get the color to come off onto your thicker, darker paint, add a little bit of your liquid white in there to it. Just a little touch. Look at that for a little flat little stone out there, right? How many more things do we want to do, guys? Literally, let's take our little spray bit in here. Let's see if we can do this. What if we get our liquid white? We come out here. Got all these little sprays happening. There's some onto our rock face, of course, because you gotta, if your water's gonna be right here, you would imagine you'd have a couple little spray bits onto this guy. Right? But then we can get out into our sand, and the more that we flick into our sand, the more like sand it looks. It's crazy. It's wild, you guys. You can even get a couple out into your sky. Just don't put too many. Put too many up there. That is looking cool, dudes. Now, since we've got our specks in our sand, now I can come down here with a little bit more of that darkness. The dark color. The intense darkness. Man. Yeah, it does have another worldly feel to it, doesn't it? What if, though, if we came out this way, we connect onto this guy, drop in this whole monster, and kind of feeding it on that way. Doesn't even have to go down all the way, just a whole little chunk of something out here. Literally, what do we want it to look like? Totally up to us. If we have it go dark all the way to the corner, then guess what? It kind of closes off the corner, maybe feeds us a little way to walk down to the beach, which I like out there. You never know. Always make it weird too. Just make it a weird shape. Nothing out there's got to be perfect or whatever. Just make it strange and weird looking. Just like me, a little strange and weird looking. Out here, a bit more of that pink, just let it flow down to the back. We don't need it to be crazy. All right, the backside's not really catching a whole lot of light. And then up along the top, let's do this. Came out and tapped along this guy. Just kind of tapping in. Nothing out there's got to be perfect. That's the best part about it. Came down like that and just literally tapped on a couple times just to create a couple places of bright, a couple places of dark. Right? You can swipe over it, but it's more difficult for people to do that way. You know what I mean? Then you can decide how many little bright areas do you want to have when you're doing yours. Where's the little light hitting on your crazy old planet when you do this one, right? So we've got that guy, we've got this guy. Let's do our one final little man back here. And I think we're going to need to make up some more of our highlight colors because we don't have much of this paint left. In this color anyway, right? So what we did was we took our white and our madder carmine from Meaden and we mixed them up together until they were about a little pinkish hue. All depends on how you like it, right? Come out there, grab onto that guy, and just let it streak down in different places. How many places are going to be hitting with that white paint, do you think? You know what I mean? Or our brighter yellowish paint. How many places are really going to be getting hit by all that? That's up to you. You get to decide where it is, what the direction is, float it, right? Just hang out up here, catching some light, whatever, doesn't matter. We can do it a certain way one time, we could do it a different way another time. You'll never be able to do it exactly the same way, so don't stress over making it perfect, right? Because you've always got another chance at doing it again. Man, that's a cool little painting. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title for this one. What are we going to name this little guy, my friends? You're coming up with it, and then I'm going to put it on there, and that is all she wrote. That's cool. I like it. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title, and if anything, we're going to rock back just a little bit of brightness back into this guy, off of our blade, with just a couple little specks of color. Try not to hit this big old rock. Right? That would be bad. A big old rock out there. There we go. Let them float up, fly on up this way. There we go. None of them have to be perfect. They don't have to do anything. They're just kind of little patches of stuff floating on top of the water and floating back. Yeah, guys, look at this for one. My. There we go. Right up into. Oh, stop, Josh. Just quit it. You just quit it. You just quit over there because it's too good. The backside, we should have done this part first, but it's okay. It's all good, guys. Fabulous. All right, you guys start coming up with a title for this one. Because whether or not you know me or not, right? There we go. There we go. We need to come up with a title for this painting right now. No matter what, whether it finds a new home or it doesn't find a new home, we've got to come up with a title for it as it sits right So you guys got to help me out in doing that, okay? What are we going to title this beauty of a painting? And the last thing we're going to do is take a little bit of our odorless mineral spirits, which is our brush cleaner. Right, a little bit of brush cleaner, and we're going to go into that crimson color and into our brown, just a little bit, our dark sienna brown. So it's like a reddish, brownish color onto our brush. We're going to come up here and meet some of these guys flowing down that way, right? They can be big, they can be small, they can be whatever they want to be. It can be a big old patch if you want it to be. Now, looks kind of funky up there if it's just lines, right? So what we do, we come back in with the little fan brush, little circular motions, then we get flatter and flatter and flatter as you go out that way. Because it's just supposed to soften it down enough to where we can't really see what it is as it's going up and over the edge. And if it goes up and over the edge, then we're not going to be able to tell what's happening. There we go. Our white rolling down, breaking up all over the place. You guys. That looks really cool. Man, look at that one, dude. I'm telling ya. These guys, streak them up if you want. Help them blend in. Again, go back before you do the takeoff, right? You gotta float or at least drag them out front ways, way the heck out there. So you have that little rotation before you take off in the airplane. That's what we're always talking about, right? So same, we can just dump a little bit up here and then just scrape it, follow those lines back. This is just the liquid white and the titanium white mix. So it's very wet, very runny, and very dangerous, so be careful. Be careful, it wants to go everywhere. Okay, take this guy, mix it up out there. Just put a little bit of bright out on the front, a little bit of dark up into the back, and you got yourself a really cool looking wave. Just if you ask me, I don't know about you guys out there, but if you're asking me, that looks really neat. I like it. So, come up with a title, guys. And like I said, if you get it during the live show, then you get to pick the title forever. It becomes yours to name forever. But you got to be the person to get it during the live show. If you don't get it during the live show, then you just may end up being chosen by me to title it. If you get it during the live show, then it becomes yours forever to do whatever you want. Name it whatever you want. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that, you guys. Okay, we're going to come in, we're going to throw in our signature, the old 3-bird family, and the old little JK down in the bottom. You guys already know. I'm going to take my liquid white out here. I'm just going to go caca, just as lightly as you possibly can. That little 3-bird indication out there flying around, okay? Then we'll go sign it down in the bottom, and while I'm doing that, you guys better be coming up with a name for it. What are we going to title this one? Tell me now. Like I said, if you choose it, you not only get to name it, but you get a spin on the spinny winny wheel. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite gifting wheel gets to come out and say hello if somebody gets it during their live show. And we get to do a light party if it goes during the live show. If not, then none of those things get to happen. So you guys are in fact, in control of whether or not the wheel comes out and whether or not we get to have a light party. It's all up to one of you guys out there. Like just one. Just takes one of you. All rides on one of yous. Striking Midnight. Eternal Surge. That's a cool title. Cosmic Seascape. That's fun. Hope says, this is amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Splash Paradise. Aurora's Treasure. Retroactive? Or do you mean radioactive? The Pink Lagoon. I like that one, Kenny. I like it. Kaleidoscope of Color. That's a cool title, too. Aurora Peaks. Mystic Shores. Yeah, we're not ignoring anybody over on YouTube. There's just many, many, many more people watching, and the comments go a lot faster over on the other deals. Jose, never ignored, man. Let's see, Candy Rock, I like that. Neapolitan Shores, Cosmic Rocks, Aurora Clash. I like all these titles, you guys. Seriously, I got like 2 or 3 more brushes to clean up, and then we're gonna be looking for that title. And like I said, if you want to grab this one, it is up to you to head over to paintwithjosh.com. It's right there. It's waiting for you. Go grab it and then come back and tell us what we're going to call it. I need to clean out my paint thinner bucket. It's really getting gross. Really getting gross. Right, so this one. I think I named the other one from class this morning Cosmic Coast, which was kind of cool. So that is very similar to what this guy looks like. Very neat. I love how you can see around the rocks and around the splash and the little bits of water that are coming around the back. Just makes me feel like I could get back there. Maybe when the tide is right. Okay, so what do we got for titles, guys? You let me know. Out there in the night. That'd be a good title for this one, too. Rose Gold Nightscape. Sunset Valley. I like it. I like it. Anna over there on YouTube watching. Radioactive. The Rose Gold World. Man, you guys are awesome. I just love yous over there. Just amazing. Copper Coastline. I like that one too. What are you waving at? Make that the winner, guys. Over here. Who is that? Who said that? Who said that? Is it Brittany? That's funny. That's going to be the title. Water. What are you waving at? I love that. Okay. That's funny. And if it's up to me to choose, since the painting is still available in the store, then I'm going to pick that title. That's really funny. What are you waving at? I love that. I don't know. It makes me laugh. There's a joke in there somewhere. It makes me laugh. I like it. I like it. Let's go over here. There we go. Like that. Over here. Number 19. Whoop. 1983, man. Water. You waving at. Question mark. Boom. I love that. That's a cool title. Painted on 8/8/2028. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's like the best place ever. And you got to go check it out. There's this paintings over there. All sorts of paintings are there. You just got to go find it, man. You got to be the one that gets over there first and nabs it up. I really wanted to see this in a light party, but it is okay. It is okay. There we go. Line it up a bit more centered. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so, man, I can't believe how good this one came out. Everybody that's watching over on the over on the book, you guys. Thought there was a bristle in there. There's not. Don't worry. You guys have been amazing, and there's nothing about this paint that I would change. Maybe put a little bit of white underneath this guy just to have like a bit of water streaking down there. Just a little touch, some indication that the water's reached up and around that far. But honestly, everybody over on the tube and over on the book, you guys have been amazing. I love you all. Finally got to name one. That's awesome, Brittany. I'm happy you were able to name one. And I'm happy that everybody else over here had a great time watching it. Remember, you can grab it. That's what I do for a living. I have them available. I teach you how to paint. And you guys know supplies are expensive. These things aren't free for sure. So help me out. Get over there, and that'll keep me bringing you guys free videos 5 nights a week. So I love you guys all, everybody over on the book and on the tube. I can't wait to see your versions of this painting. Send it in, facebook.com/officialpaintwithjosh or @paintwithjoshk over on Instagram. And you guys are amazing, and I love you. I can't wait. So until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And blah, blah. Is he going to do the noise? Of course he does the noise. Baboosh! It's crazy, guys.